All right, so it is Sunday, September the 7th. Um, it's 1 week until my 10K. And I actually just came in the house from running 10K. I was supposed to run 89, no, yeah, 8,900 meters, but I still had to get back to my car. So I decided to keep running and just do the full 10K. So it's been a while since I posted. Um, I have been running. I did have like a week or so off. I went to the age group CrossFit Games about the third week of August. I came back. It's the first week of classes for me and back to work. And so I've done a lot of the shorter runs in the house on the treadmill. And as things have been getting cooler, I did decide to go outside. So on Friday, I did a 2 mile run outside. And then today I went out to the actual park where the 10K race is going to be, and I did the 10K um, loop. Actually, it's two loops around the lake. So that's how things have been going. But if we step back a little bit, um, I kind of want to talk about this process of training for the 10K. It started when we started the endurance focus in street parking. Um, it was a 3 month long focus on building endurance, and I decided that some folks were deciding to set a goal of running a 5K. I decided to set a goal to run a 10K. So I've been doing a lot of running this summer. I've had lots of feelings about it. I used to run all the time before I started CrossFit. I've done some 5Ks in the past couple of years, but I thought, why not give a 10K a try? Um, the 5K race, the 10K race that I'm doing next week, there's also a 5K option. So you would just do one loop around the the lake, and for 10K you do it twice. And they do give you the option up to a certain date. And like if you signed up for the 10K, if you think maybe you can't do it, you can switch back and go to a 5K. I have struggled this entire summer deciding if I should do that. And one of the reasons why I decided not to do it was one, I made a commitment to myself that I wanted to try this new thing. I have done one 10K in my life. It was in 2011, no, 2014. 2014. I did a 10K down at the Six Flags here in Maryland, and it was lots of fun to do it. But then I never really ran anything longer than 5K after that. So um, for me, it is kind of like doing my very first 10K all over again. Because like I said, I've run some 5Ks, but I don't run them enough to have felt like, oh, this will be an easy transition. So I did start off with the 5K training first and then transitioned over to 10K. One of the biggest lessons that I had to learn was that training for 10K is not the same as training for a 5K. So 5K typically, folks, once you've done it a number of times, then you start trying to get a better time. So like a shorter time. Um, my last 5K, I think I finished in 45 minutes, maybe 45, 46 minutes. So I kind of started my training in that sort of frame of mind that I wanted to get to like a 13-minute mile and then hold that for the whole 10K. And as the summer went on, it seemed like that was going to be less and less a possibility. And then I had a very good conversation with my coach, Gab. Um, and I think I told this story before, and she just helped me reframe running the 10K versus the 5K because it is a longer zone 2 type of race. So your speeds, your paces need to be a little bit slower so that you don't burn yourself out. And then once you get used to that, then you can work on um, uh, increasing your time. Well, not really increasing, but lowering your speed. Increasing your speed, lowering your time. You can do that afterwards. But for your first one, you just want to be able to do the distance. So that's what I've been focusing on, getting the distances in. So it has been hot here in Maryland, so I've done a lot of the distances inside on my treadmill, and that just sort of gave me like the feeling of how a particular speed would feel. So my treadmill is marked in miles, but I found a way to translate it into meters. It's approximately 4 to 4.5 miles an hour, um, depending on how I'm feeling each day. So that's been working out pretty well. Been averaging about 15-minute miles, which that also took a lot for me to feel okay with that. Um, when I was running 5Ks, I could run like 8 to 9 minute miles, and now I'm running like 15-minute miles. And I just had to learn how to put all of that in context. Um, I was running those speeds over 10 years ago when running was the only thing that I was doing. Now that I've added CrossFit into my life, strength training into my life, um, the priorities on what to train have shifted. And so, where I may have gained in strength, I may have sacrificed in the endurance and the speed. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Um, so I'll be honest. Last week I did 5 miles. I think I did that on the treadmill, and I had kind of a meltdown after that. It was um, very unexpected. Around mile 4, I just had lots of intrusive thoughts that made me feel discouraged and not sure if I could do this thing. And I talked through it with a few people, and the thing that I got the most out of what everybody said was, I've made it to 5 miles. It's 5 out of 6. So I'm basically there. And all this time that I've put in will kick in on race day. And learning how to stay within the zone 2 will keep me from completely zonking out and having to stop or walk or whatever. Um, so I had to keep that in mind. I also had to keep in mind that some of the anxiety that I'm feeling around that also has to do with just life in general. There's been so much stuff happening um, in my life, especially like I said, since I went out of town, came back, started classes. Um, it's been a whole lot, and so and I also kind of reintroduced decaf coffee and some regular coffee into my life, which now I know I just can't do. I can't seem to tolerate any little bit of caffeine really well without it making me feel anxious. So I got some mushroom coffee. I also just got a box of chicory coffee from Amazon. So we'll give that a try. But I think I need like basically real caffeine free beverages moving forward. And I think once my body can sort of get rid of this excess caffeine that's inside of me, I'll feel a whole lot better. So for next week, so this week we're going to taper. I have one vault workout that I'm going to do. I was kind of disappointed to find out that it has a ton of running in it because I was trying to not run a lot next week. But there's an option, there's a version of it where I only have to do, excuse me, 2 400-meter runs. So I may do that option. Um, Maybe the rest of the week, um, do like a mile or a mile and a half, um, and a few sets of sprints just to, keep things moving, but not at the highest intensity. Um, so that's how the week is going to look. I'm going to look at how I need to adjust some carbs so that I'll be nice and carved up for Sunday. I'm gonna make sure that my weekend, that I get good sleep and not eat anything new or different or disruptive on Saturday. And then when Sunday comes, I'm gonna go out there and run that race. And the race is just against myself, um, and my mind. I don't want my mind to give up on me, during this race. And I think that's probably going to be the biggest challenge. Um, there's points in the race where we're going up some some hills, and they're mentally tough going up these hills. But thankfully, I have a playlist, and it worked out that some of the motivational speeches on the playlist show up right as those hills show up. So that was helpful today, and I hope it continues to be helpful next week. So that's where I am. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to take some video during the race on Sunday. I'm not, I don't want to promise that I'm going to have a lot because, um, it's just hard to run and film myself at the same time. And I thought about getting like borrowing somebody's like little GoPro, but I don't know that I have the brain power to try and figure it out between now and Sunday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, we'll see what we can do. Um, so that's what we got. Road to 10K. We are 7 days 7 days out. So thanks to everybody who's stuck around for the journey, and I will talk to you soon.